WagerTalk Today, the gold standard of sports betting shows where we talk the talk and walk the walk. College football starting tonight, Dan, NFL preseason, MLB, WNBA. We got a lot going on.
Dude, absolutely loaded show. And for you stat nerds out there, guess what? The return of the pen is here. Ralph Michaels here to talk week 0 in college football. We got Gianni back for you, so we got steam coming your way. Joe is in the middle. We're talking a little baseball with him. We are pumped up. And yes, I was giving a little salute for the Lang gang checking in here, Mr. Lang. So let's get them going, brother, with a free play. We're just going back to the woodshed, man. I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Play of the day. That's the theme for the show here today, Andy.
Yeah, we took the Mystics -1.5 on Tuesday. This is a -3.5. Yeah, absolutely. We'll take it. We talked on Tuesday about the Mystics being much better than the Mercury. We talked yesterday about laddering it up. We're going right back to it here. They played by 10, and I just don't see what changes. The Mercury have no motivation to win. They're probably looking to get a better draft pick. The Mercury have covered this spread only one time in their last 7 losses to teams with winning records. The Mystics are a playoff-bound team. They are playing for seeding. The last 10 games, the Mystics are 3rd in defensive rating. The Mercury are 2nd to last. The Mystics are 7th in offensive rating in that time span. The Mercury are 10th. And I looked, and you can get plus 233 on -10.5, plus 218 on 9.5, plus 203 on this is if you're interested in trying a ladder, you can split 2 units and do it again. In NBA you see this, or in other sports you see this, like, oh, they split. They play back to back and they split. I just don't see it in this particular situation, the WNBA. So that's where we're going with the play of the day, Dan. Absolutely, well, Andy, no doubts about this one.
Your words to the betting gods' ears, because D Money, who appreciate you being a Wager Talk Insider, folks. With football here, Wager Talk Insider, this is a great time to check it out. Super low price point. You get all early access on all of our videos. You also have access to some exclusive content that you can check out over at the page that only subscribers get. But D Money, shout out to you watching on YouTube Shorts. He says he's laddering right there with you, Andy. So let's ladder this baby on up.
Why not? Why not? So we got some news and notes, but I went and saw the Odyssey yesterday. So at the very end of the show, Dan and I will talk about the Odyssey. So if you haven't seen it, you're going to see it. Those are the spoiler alerts that's coming up. If you have seen it, stick around. But we'll do the Odyssey at the very
spoiler alerts on the oldest story in recorded history. You know what I mean?
Listen. I've read the Odyssey multiple times back in high school, and I don't remember much of the book.
You remember the Cyclops, things but we'll talk about that at the end. So don't worry, folks. Yeah. We got sports betting information coming your way, and then Andy and I get to nerd out at the end. So stick around if you want that.
A couple news and notes. The Colts are activating Alex Pierce off the PUP list. That's a big deal. The Packers are preparing for Josh Jacobs to be suspended. That's you're seeing some news stories kind of trickle out of Green Bay. So fantasy football drafts, there's nothing concrete that it sucks, but just be prepared. Yankees reliever Fernando Cruz, partially torn UCL. That might need Tommy John surgery. That's horrible. Tariq Skubal, going to start in Detroit on Friday. Cheer or boo, Dan? You got to cheer.
Right? For Detroit, it's probably, if it was Philadelphia, it's a hardcore boo. Detroit, I think there'll be a smattering of cheers and boos. The drunker the people are, the more boos you'll have. I would personally probably cheer. It is accomplished to get him out there in Detroit.
He didn't demand a way out and shit on the city is on his way. It's just we got it. Yeah, you're gone. And then the Atlanta Dream signed Bonner after their buyout. That's a really nice move to add depth to the Atlanta Dream. Preseason games, our guests aren't gonna break those down, but the Bills are -3 versus the Steelers. Over under is 34.5. I really like the over in this one, Dan. Bills put up 29 and 31 in preseason. They have solid backup running backs. The Steelers scored 0 last week, but you got to remember there was a couple of interceptions close to the end zone. Aller and Howard should play a little bit better. That would be a lean. And then Patriots are 2.5-point favorites versus the Browns. The coaches talked and they agreed not to play their starters. That means the Browns are down to Dylan Gabriel and Taylor Green. The Patriots, Tommy DeVito and Morton. The Browns have 17 points total in 2 preseason games. I lean the Patriots -2.5 with their depth. So there's some preseason. I have a 5% best bet that is up in the Rams and Chargers, so I will not be breaking down that game on the show. This is the very first 5% bet we've had up for NFL preseason, so very, very excited about that. 4-2-2 in the preseason, so we feel like we're seeing it well. We love the spot tonight, so that's a 5%er that is up wt.buzz/AL. That's at the late game, 10 o'clock Eastern time, so stay up, watch some preseason, and cash a 5% best bet. I'm stoked for that one, Dan.
I'm amped as well for it, Andy. So late night, 5% action. We're firing, baby. That's how you know football is here when we like something enough to elevate it to that 5%. That's going into 10 p.m. game. Since you covered those other two, Andy, all I'll say in this San Francisco and Las Vegas game, that one that's going at 8 o'clock, San Francisco just scored 41 points, and it was against the Chargers. The Vegas Raiders haven't shown a propensity to stop anyone in this preseason.
Truth.
They return home. Mendoza, he had those picks early in that game, and then they roll back in the second half. So those second stringers have shown motivation. Those third stringers have showed motivation. I know it's square, Andy, but points. Give me points in that one. We are seeing a lone 37, some 37s out there. We're seeing as high as 39. Grab the over while you can. I'm going over San Francisco, Las Vegas. Now you got all 3 games. You want the 5%er, wt.buzz/AL.
All right, let's bring in Gianni. Gianni, before we get into the steam, we always do our live show on Tuesday for Contender Series. We always watch you. You were in such a tough spot. You had to come on the show and be like, I like Humphrey inside the distance at -750. There were some lines. We were just like, Yanni's got to be in his own nightmare here.
Dude, here's the thing. I have to turn in my plays by 10 a.m. Tuesday morning. So they could do in production room, set everything up. And then I go in there and the production meeting is until 2 o'clock after going through makeup, rehearsals, all that stuff. By that time, the lines have moved so significantly. Like I'm in a really tough position. And then I know that 5 minutes before the fight, it's going to move again. And I could never urge anyone to bet a -6,000 that opened -500. I would never do that. But I have to do something. You know what I mean? And back in the day when I started with Contender, I would give the dog and give the plus money. And all I got was like backlash, you know what I mean? Because more times than not, the dog's going to lose that fight. The few times they do win, though, it's profitable. So even though I would be profitable doing it, I would lose so many more than I won that it doesn't appear that way. So it just became easier to, not try to get closing line value because it's impossible. So it's more or less pick the winner at that point. You know what I mean? Yeah. Except for some matchups and some props and some round totals. But like we say with all sports, if you're waiting until the last 5 minutes, you're probably not getting a good number. And with TV, when you're forced to give out your pick the last 5 minutes, again, you're behind the 8 ball. No excuse. I love what I do, and I wouldn't, trade it for nothing. I get paid well to do that also, and had good seasons. But it's a tough spot because again, you want to do it the right way as far as educating and sharing the right information. You know what I mean? Like you shouldn't be laying this, but at the same time, you have, they're counting you down in your ear. 14, 13, 12, like you have 13 seconds to like say as much as you can. So it's like a lot goes on that people don't realize when it comes to TV. And that's why I'm now certain that 99.9% of TV shows, preview shows don't put results because the results just wouldn't be good. The UFC on the Line is the only show. And I'll be honest with you really quickly. When I got approached for that show, and then after we did the pilot and they said we're going through with it and they offered me the contract, I swear to you, I considered it for a few days whether I was going to take that or not, because they were so adamant about we're going to show results. Like the thing of this show is sponsored by a book and we're going to show updated results each and every week. That was the goal of the show was, about numbers and stuff. And I was like, dude, this could ruin me. Like if I go out there and get buried, I have a brand. I have a good brand. I sell well. I have respect. But if I get buried, then what? But you know what? I said, I had confidence in myself at that point, had confidence in the people I was working with when it came to MMA. And I said, I'm going to do it. And boom, here I am 8 years later. It turned out well, and with On the Line, I've been able to profit. I think this is our 7th or 8th season. Only one season have I been down, which again, that's luck. But yeah, it's a tough racket, but I wouldn't give it up for anything. And real quickly, I did hear you guys mention the Odyssey. I haven't seen it, but Ithaca is my mom's island. I've spent many summers in Ithaca. Yes.
Really?
Yes.
No way.
Yes. And my father's island is right across from Ithaca. It's called Kefalonia. So there's on the Ionian side, which are right across from Italy. That's why I have a lot of Italian blood in me. Like we're a boat ride away. We're 40 minutes away from each other. That part of Greece and Italy. So yeah, Ithaca is my mom's island. That's where we're from. And they have like a big Odysseus thing when you right when the boat pulls up. It's really cool. They're like really they believe in the Odyssey. It's pretty cool.
That's awesome. Well, we'll talk about UFC Shanghai, but we got NFL preseason. We got college football. It's a limited MLB set. Let's start with NFL preseason and then go into college football because football's king. What are you seeing in NFL tonight?
Yeah, I'm going to give you guys everything. I just confirmed a bet, so I will release that once I get done. I'll put a package out. Here's what I got as far as sharp stuff for NFL tonight. We got 102. Buffalo got bet at -1.5, 2 and 2.5. Pittsburgh got bet at +3.5. You're going to hear a lot of that in the preseason. I know it's hard for bettors to follow along, but I just shared the truth. And when numbers move, you're going to get difference of opinions, especially in the NFL where the numbers are really tight. They also bet the under 35.5. The public's also on the under. So you have the sharps and the under on the public. As far as the side goes, one-sided public money on Buffalo. So they know they could limit some risk. If they go to 3.5, they're going to get Steeler action. So keep an eye on that. Patriots and Browns, one-sided public money on the Patriots. Sharps laid the 1.5. I'm surprised that's not up to 3 already. Keep an eye on that. Why is it not on 3? Right now, 3 out of every 4 bets are on the Patriots, as well as the sharps on the Patriots. Why are we not looking at 3.5? Got to answer that question. They're also betting it over. Public likes that game over. Hasn't moved off that 34.5. Now, Vegas and the Raiders. Another situation where the line moves significantly. No surprise, we're going to get good two-way action. Raiders got bet at 1, 2, 2.5, and even some 3 even money, but it got as high as 4.5, and that's when you saw the San Francisco money come in. So you have the Raiders over here for -1 up to that key number, and then on the flip side, you have the 4.5s and 4s on the 49ers. They also bet the game under 39. It's probably down to 37. I don't have the screen in front of me, but I see the public money's also on the under. Just like that first game, Steelers-Bills, where you have the sharps and the public on the same side. Those totals tend to move a lot. As far as the action is, the public is taking the points with the Niners. So they do like the Niners on that matchup. And finally, Rams-Chargers, once again, significant move. You got the early sharp money on the Chargers at 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, but it got up to 5, and that's where you started seeing the Rams money come in at 5 and 4.5, and also under at 39.5. Public heavy Rams, public heavy under. So you have the late sharp money agreeing with the public money. That's why this is dropped back down to where it sits right now. And both like the under. So that's what sticks out a lot tonight. 3 games being bet under by the sharps and the public. Steelers, Bills, Niners, Raiders, Rams, Chargers. Public likes it. Wise guys like it. Sides, public's on the Bills, public's on the Patriots, public's on the Niners, public's on the Rams. The sharp side, they're on both ends on some of those matchups. Love this part of the year. That's why we're able to find such gold, such value. I haven't released anything yet in the preseason. But I will. Like I said, I just got confirmation. You touched on college football. If it's a FCS or whatever they're called, these lines move quickly. I released 2 premiums, 2 subscribers. 1 is up for free. I only make these 3% plays. They should be 4% or even higher because some of the best value is on these FCS matchups. But I don't make them big bets because I know there are limits to it. And I want my results to reflect what you could actually do. And I can't be betting 5% on FCS plays because you can't get down that kind of money on it without the line moving 2, 3, 4, 5 points. I'd be lying to you. So I try to make those 2 or 3% plays where subscribers can still get down and even have some leeway as far as what kind of number they're willing to get. We took 10 on Charleston Southern. We laid the 120 even to do so at 9.5. It's worth it to buy the 10, the half point up to 10. It's worth about 22 cents or 12 cents, and you only get charged 10 cents. So you get a discount on the 10 if you're not laying more than 120. So we did take Charleston Southern. I'll give you the other one too, because it only went out to subscribers. I'm not putting up a package. I also took West Georgia over Chattanooga, and that number is still available. You could probably get 3 on it. We're good at 2.5 on West Georgia. So in FCS so far, we're on West Georgia and we're on Charleston Southern. I just gave you both premium plays for college football so far.
Awesome. You seen anything for Saturday's games? Ralph's going to be here to break down North Carolina, TCU, and San Jose State, USC. I'm curious is there a lot of handle on this weekend? Like people itching to get back into betting college football? Like I feel like this could be a pretty big bet.
Great question. You started seeing earlier in the week, Andy, parlayed baseball with the college football for Saturday. WNBA money lines parlayed with Saturday college football. So yeah, Saturday college football will attract a ton of action. In fact, it's going to be the heaviest bet sport for sure. We do have some action already. They bet Florida State minus 29 and 30, and I know they laid the 31 late last night. They took Eastern Michigan minus the 8. They laid the points with USC as well, 35.5 all the way to 37.5. They laid the 3 and 3.5 with UNLV, and they took the 10 all the way down to 7.5 with Jacksonville State. So definitely sharp money already. Some of those, be careful because they're getting out ahead of the public money. Like, you're getting USC minus 35.5. If that's up to 40.5, rest assured they're going to come back and take the 40.5. You got a minus 35 one side, a plus 40 on the other. You got to do it. So a lot of these week 0, week 1 games that have been up for a month, they're getting bet, and they will be bet into shape. In fact, they're already in the Steam sheet. I've already been putting next week's games on there. Like they bet Wake Forest minus 22, Eastern Michigan, Toledo, Miami. Like they're already betting next week's games. And I just got 6 purchase orders from one of my college football originators. Like he doesn't work with a betting syndicate or anything like that. Guy only bets college football, bets about 5 dimes per game, wins year in and year out, hits about 57, 58% during good years. And he actually just sent me 6 or 7 plays for next week. He sent me Nevada plus 3, Tulane plus 10, Miami, Ohio plus 17, Wyoming plus 4, Arkansas State plus 10. Like they're already having me get down, and I love it because I have power rated from team number 1 all the way to 100th and whatever. And we're ready to go. I'm able to just look at my line, what we think that the line should be. When they come in on a game like today, when they came in on, Charleston Southern, we had that line at 7.5, 8. They said they wanted plus 10. It's automatic bet for me. So that's what the Steam Room's good for. With all the college football, you're able to ask me any matchup you want, and I'll give you what our line is in that matchup. Real quickly, WNBA, they bet both favorites, Andy. I know you sometimes touch on that. They took New York minus 1.5 and 2, and they took Washington minus 2.5 and 3. Not much small board in Major League Baseball.
I'll ask. I don't even know if you can even do this in Vegas. We talked on Tuesday. We gave out the Mystics minus 1.5. We talked about how you could ladder them up, so you can take the alt lines minus 1.5, minus 2.5, minus 3.5, minus 4. Well, they won by 10, so you could have made a boatload of money. Do you ever do that? Do the sharps ever do stuff like that?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It's as a way of getting more money down. Those are I see that more in the smaller markets that offer those bets. It's almost like I see round robins. When college basketball starts, I see round robins with college basketball totals in the accounts. And the reason for that is they can't get enough money down on straight bets. So a way to increase ROI, even though it's not correlated, is tying up 3-team round robins in 2-team parlays. So they'll put three totals together, tie up 3 2-team parlays with it as well after limit betting it. Like they'll put the parlay in first and then they'll limit bet it. So they always put the round robin in first and then they'll put the limit bet because the limit bet's going to move the line. So they want to get their round robin in first because the round robin's not going to move the totals. So they'll use round robins to get down on totals, and then they'll limit bet the total, and the line will move everywhere. I watch it happen. It's freaking amazing to watch.
It's a limited MLB slate. Anything?
Washington, they like Washington in the over a lot. They bet Washington all the way up to minus 125 and over 9.5. They took Atlanta and flipped the favorite. They took them at plus money. Now they're minus 110 and under 7. That's got to be gone. I think it's not but 6.5. And then they also went over 8 in Kansas City and Toronto. That's what's pretty much sticking out in baseball. Again, it's not going to attract much action today. It'll be the sharps versus the books with the public money maybe using Milwaukee parlayed with some football or, using the Yankees at home. They'll do that. Otherwise, you'll get some parlay action from the betting public, but they'll pretty much ignore baseball, ignore WNBA, ignore everything and bet preseason football and a little bit FCS. FCS won't get much, but if there's a TV game, that'll get the action from the public. So look at that. Like look at which of the FCS is on TV. And then that line movement will be public influence. But all the rest, when you're looking at today's FCS line, rest assured, those lines are legit. Now, sometimes there will be some manipulation because it's hard to get money down, but there's not enough what's the word I'm looking for? Liquidity to play around in that market. Like most of the stuff is straightforward and legit moves. Again, you'll have buybacks, you'll have middles, but most are legit because they're betting against the book. They're not betting versus other bettors, really. Other sharps, yeah, but it's not like the recreational bettors that they're up against.
All right, Gianni, it's Thursday. That can only mean one thing.
Hammer time.
It is hammer. All right, the hammer just keeps on winning on Thursday. So
it really does.
Yeah. So I kind of like this guy, Yanni. This is Matty Ice, Iceman Locks at Iceman Locks. He uses a Seinfeld GIF, so that's always good. I love the graphic there, the Raiders with the ice for Matty Ice and the chain. But by far the best part about Matty Ice is if he circled. Jose Canseco follows him. Now, if Jose Canseco follows him, I think this is a man. That's exactly right. That's all the confirmation we need.
Enough said.
All right, so Dan, let's pull up Matty Ice's play. He's got 2 of them here. Jordan Walker over 1.5 HRR, or the Diamondbacks over 3.5. Team total. I kind of like the Diamondbacks team total.
Me too, and that sounds more sharp. That sounds sharp. He's going in straight team total over. Yeah, I like that.
Hey, it's Matty Ice. He doesn't do anything but sharp play. So, all right, Matty Ice, keep the streak going. We're rolling with the Diamondbacks over 3.5.
D-backs team total over is what was our Thursday hammer is.
Us
as of right now,
everybody.
As of right now, in the back end, 8 out of every 10 bets are on Arizona. 10 out of every 10 bets are on the over in that game.
Let's go, Matty Ice.
Let's go,
Bring it home, Iceman Locks. All right, yeah. What do you have up for everybody?
Oh, I fired a 5% in MMA. Got confirmation, was not going to wait. We got a live dog on Saturday's MMA card. Like I said, you don't need as much conviction to fire on some dogs. We saw dogs jump out last week and get the money. Found a really sweet one this week. Plus money still available, 5%. College football pass is up for Saturday. Already 2 plays in there. More will be added. Tonight, released 2 plays already. 2 subscribers. Again, finished number 1 in profit 2 of the last 3 years in college football. That's not by accident. Number 1 NFL in college football last year combined. looking for another big year. Jump on board for the whole thing. If you're going to be betting NFL and college football, you're going to want to know what we're on. Again, whether you follow everything, fade, whatever, it's a solid winning information that's been proven. Jump on board for the season. Don't waste money jumping in and out weekend, week, that. Just get the information from now till the Super Bowl. You're not going to lose money. As long as you bet size correctly and manage your risk correctly, we're going to do damage. So I have that up. I have the future packages up. Season win totals are up. And that UFC package for Saturday's already up with the 5%. Let's do some damage. Big weekend of college football. Saturday Steam Room. We'll go over each and every matchup, update our power ratings, and be ready for what's ahead. Because next week, it's over, baby. Week 1 will be officially here, and we'll be awaiting the NFL also. Can't wait.
All right, Gianni. Appreciate you bringing the energy.
Thank you,
tomorrow.
brother.
We'll talk a little bit more about UFC and such. Have a great Thursday. Yeah, listen, for the record, I like Matty Ice.
Yes.
This is not
That's pretty clear.
this is not the parlay.
We've
the
made
CEO
fun of the parlay queens and things like that. Like Andy was like, "Oh, I like this guy. He actually seems like he knows what he's talking about." So yes, you pump the brakes. Trust me, you know when we're making fun of people.
We'll make it very obvious we're making fun of some. I love that the Ice and the Raiders thing in the casino. That's a great graphic. I really like him. So let's come on, Matty Ice, bring it home with the Diamondbacks over 3.5. So as we mentioned at the top of the show, 5% NFL preseason best bet. If you're a flex pass, it might be a good day to use a flex pass because we have a cricket bet that goes off tonight as well. The Mystics play, I did make that a 2% client play, the -3.5. I'm seeing -4.5s already pop up. Plus money on DraftKings at 4.5. So you lock that in, but use a flex day pass. You're going to get a 4% cricket play and a 5% NFL preseason. So really excited about that. We dabbled in preseason last year, Dan, and we all said we gotta take preseason more serious. I'm glad we have 4, 2, and 2. So successful preseason, and we'll cap it off with a 5%er tonight. Hopefully get this one home. I feel pretty confident in it. Love the line, and then we'll fire away this weekend as well. So, all right, let's bring in Joe Raineri, and we got to talk some MLB. Wouldn't it be cool if Jose Canseco followed you on social media, Joe? Like,
I think he might.
Is that a feather in the cap?
He owes me money, so he's not going to follow me. That's number one. And number two, I'm just kind of curious here. So Matty Ice names himself after the one quarterback that blew the largest lead in a Super Bowl at 21-3. So I am
28-3.
Somehow now supposed to be what was it? 24-3, 28, 21,
28-3. No, 28-3.
Well, it was, but at the half it was 21-3, and then New England scored again. But what are we doing here? Are we trusting Matty Ice of all people? Couldn't trust him to hold a 28-3 lead in the Super Bowl.
Listen, it's out of my control. It's the Thursday hammer.
The gambling. It's like the contrarian gods, Joe. Like we don't choose this; they come to us.
Do some research, dude, before you pick a name. Holy Jesus!
It is funny though, Joe. The record on just like tailing these random plays on Thursday hammer. I think 5 straight, Andy, that we've hit.
It hasn't lost. It hasn't lost yet.
If it ain't broke, people, if it ain't broke, we ain't fixing it. Absolutely, I agree with you. Matty
what's
Ice.
Gonna be great is when like an actual handicapper like Matty Ice loses and all the other jokesters before have randomly.
That's a good point.
Hit theirs. That would do it. So, all right, I'll let you guys talk MLB.
Or what's going to happen is we're going to have 3 runs, and then somehow there's just going to be a crazy comeback, Joe, and then that other run will never come. The bullpen shuts it down. That'll be true Matty Ice form.
Yes.
All right, Joe. Let's talk. We've talked about in the past week and a half. I think this is now the 3rd or 4th game that we've seen pop up with a 6.5 total. And this is typically something you say, oh, wow, 6.5. This is rare. We eyed in on that. It was the Phillies game a little earlier this week when they were playing the Mariners. And we were like, this is ridiculous. You take the over. And there were 6 runs in the first inning between the two alone. However, it wasn't Yamamoto and Chris Sale who was on the mound here, Joe. So are we breaking this game in half? I know you love your first 5s. How are you breaking down this one with this super low total?
it feels like first one to score wins. I mean, 6.5 is what we're starting to see across the board. And that's pretty brave considering that Atlanta has averaged for the better part of 2 months now, at least 5 or more runs at home in games. I mean, they have been truly dominant at Truist Park, and they have been for a while now. They take the first 2 games of this series. They've got their ace on the mound. The only problem with the total that low is that's great until both these worked bullpens, and they have worked. It's not like these have been blowouts. I mean, what was it, 4-3 on Tuesday in epic fashion that the Braves ended up winning that one, and then 6-5 yesterday. Again, another bullpen night. So I'm a little worried once the bullpens get involved for the total. But are we really convinced the Dodgers are getting swept here with Yamamoto on the mound? I'm not. I get the Dodgers at plus money. I was on them last night, and Sasaki decided to pick his nose and get a blister and somehow gets pulled out of that game for some reason. And voila, there we go. They almost came back to win it. But unfortunately, the Braves once again get it done at Truist Park. I'm staying nowhere near the total here because I do think runs might be coming in the second half of this game. But at plus money, with Yamamoto on the mound, and Sale has been phenomenal, but at some point the ball is going to bounce the other way. Atlanta's gotten all the breaks in this series so far. I think the Dodgers get it here, and at plus money, I'm going to kick myself if I don't have this ticket in my back pocket. Dodgers plus 110, and I didn't bet it, so I'll be on the Dodgers here tonight.
Taking the dog here, Joe. No sweep incoming, says Joe Raineri.
No
WT.buzz/JR. We have a little bit less of a marquee pitching matchup that we'll talk in this next game first. But, Joe, what do you got rocking over at your page?
Yeah, locked and loaded here. One Major League Baseball play tonight on the short card, and college football week 0 play, plus a free play that I've got also up on my page at WT.buzz/JR. Go pick it up.
Yeah, check that out. And college football, I can't believe it's here already, Joe. We talked about it, on last call a couple of times. We're like, it's going to be here. It's going to be here. And now week 0 has arrived. One of the sports year over year Joe does very well in. Check that out over at his page.
By the way, it's now through the second week in April. We'll either have college football or college basketball starting this Saturday right through April. So
dude, that's just this is your time of year, Joe.
Yep, this is my life is over again, and yes. I love it. I welcome it. Yes,
life is over, and it is a welcome sight. So that is for sure, folks. You want to hop in? We also have long-term stuff. You do want to ride on those sports? You can check it out over at his page. But Joe, let's talk. I alluded to it a little bit less marquee of a matchup. Rupp versus Cabrera. The ERA is quite different than when we were talking Sale and Yamamoto. And this total isn't sky high. We're seeing 8.5s, and essentially a pick 'em in this one, Joe. How do you see it shaking out?
Well, I mean, listen, kudos to Arizona, who, by the way, we learned today. I don't know why they tolerate his crap, but I guess, well, because he's pretty damn good. But Marte is actually coming back and will be available, it looks like, here in a couple of days for Arizona. So you recall, I think he was caught at the craps table at the Encore in Boston, didn't show up to the game or showed up late, and then they had to do the whole thing where they suspended him and didn't pay. Then he went on the IL. Well, it looks like he is coming back. It looks like they all kissed and made up there, which is good news for Arizona because they got a legit chance of hunting down the Padres and grabbing that final wild card spot here. But they don't need him in this series. Why? They've played 9 times, these two teams this year. Arizona is 8-1 against the Giants. They have outscored them 56-29 in those games. Don't think this is going to be a big issue here for Arizona, no matter who they throw out there. And quite honestly, I was on air last night covering this game when I watched the Reds go into the top of the 9th inning as plus 8,300, down 9-4. They scored 9 runs in the 9th inning to beat the Giants. I've never seen anything like it. If I'm the Giants, I would have lost a lot of sleep last night. No way can you back the Giants. I don't understand the price. I'll take the better team, by far the better team in Arizona. A little late night, 9:45 here tonight, and it is Oracle nighttime. They don't tend to score a ton of runs in these night games this time of year, but Arizona at this price, I don't care who they're pitching.
Looking towards the D-backs, says Joe. Joe, you mentioned that you were on air last night. People can check you out on Sport and State as well. 4 o'clock each and every day, or each and every weekday, alongside Kelly in Vegas and her broken TV saga that I don't think is ending anytime soon, Joe. Ariel Epstein. They can also check you out on Best Betting Show Ever. So all kinds of ways they can catch you, Joe. Before we let you go, tell them about all of them, brother.
Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah, 4 o'clock Eastern, Monday through Friday. You can check us out on Tilt. Follow us on YouTube, on Tilt Show there. You can get us on X. You can get us on Rumble. You can get us on everywhere, basically. Just check out On Tilt Show. No problem there. Best betting show ever. We introduced Art to Caesar to the family, to the Wager Talk family, too. So you'll start to see Art there over at wagertalk.com. Not to mention, we got the pen, Ralph Michaels. I know you got him coming up here at some point, I think right after here, but Ralph will be on the Best Betting Show throughout the college and NFL season on Wednesdays, bringing a little TNA. There's nothing like hanging out with Ralph when he starts getting into the TNA. Gets really off the rails rather quickly. So make sure you guys check that out as well. It's just good to have football back in our lives here again, guys.
No, and we're up to have Art to Caesar. He's going to return here on Wager Talk today as well. We're going to do a little crossover show with Best Betting Show Ever, where we have you and Art hop on here. So
Boom.
We're excited for it, man. Keep cashing those tickets, and we will see you next week, brother.
Enjoy, Matty Ice. 21-3.
Let's go, Maddie.
Oh, man.
Let's go,
I
Maddie.
love it. I love it.
Okay, so Brant was asking about the Pick'em contest we've been talking about.
Yes. Yes.
So it's Survivor, correct?
So, Andy, if you go to WT.buzz/splash, that's going to take you to the Survivor landing page. And we have a couple different contests. That's the one that, I think you should definitely check out if you're into Survivor. You use that WT.buzz/splash. It'll take you right to where you have to log in. Use the password WagerTalk. And when you use that, you're going to get a $100 bonus that you can use towards the NFL Pick'em 5 that we're doing. You guys like those kind of contests? Andy and I do our pick 5s each week here on the show. We're doing a pick 5 and it's capped at 223 entries. I think Kelly might have used multiple ones already. So you probably want to go over there and hop in. 50K is on the line. So Brant, you can find that over at Splash's page, but I suggest that you go to WT.buzz/splash, join in that Survivor contest that's up to 21 million guaranteed, and you'll get a $100 bonus that you can use towards that pick 5 if you'd like. So that would be my suggestion. But yeah, Andy, partnering with Splash this year, and I think we're gonna have a lot of fun contests, maybe some prop contests coming up as well. So stay tuned. We're excited. They're a great partner that we're excited to work with here this season.
I'm looking at the Thanksgiving. That's such. I hate that they have the Thanksgiving as its own separate week. You have Green Bay at Rams, Bears at Lions, your Eagles at Cowboys, and Chiefs at Bills.
Yeah,
and we have to basically save those teams.
I know. It's nice because there's a good amount of games, Andy, but they're brutal freaking games. That's going to be the Grim Reaper day if we get there. And Art will be on Saturday morning's last call starting football season. So plenty of Art here. But yeah, Andy, I'm with you. That's going to be murderer's row, man.
Yeah, and Friday. I don't know if they're including Friday. Being Friday, that's that's Broncos at Steelers. That's half the league. you can't. You're just hoping that there's like a quarterback that's out. Like Dak happens to be out. So you could use the Eagles or something, but
that's the hope.
Brutal.
That's the hope.
Brutal. Yeah. So, all right. Gold sheet. We're introducing the gold sheet play. What do we got for today?
Yeah, I'm excited for this. The Gold Sheet, folks, if you haven't tried it out, it is a terrific resource. And we were talking, how can we get folks some of these free plays from the Gold Sheet? And it's something that we want to do on a daily basis here on the program. So Andy gives you the Wager Talk Today play of the day. I'll give you the gold sheet play of the day, and we'll have it basically on a daily basis for you. It's college football season, folks. College football is back, and we are taking NC State plus the 4. Let's start with why we like the Wolfpack. NC State, to end the season last year, one of the better teams in the nation. 4-1 straight up, 4-1 against the number to close out last year, including a pair of outright wins over teams like Georgia Tech and Florida State. They're bringing back their quarterback, CJ Bailey. So sure, the start of the year was rough, but I think they're coming in, or we think they're coming in with some building blocks in year number 2. Now, why do we not like the Wahoos, who are coming off of 11 wins, ACC championship game last year, and they're pretty optimistic about what they can do this year with their head coach? Well, anyone who really paid attention to the Cavs last season know that they were kind of anything but dominant. Offense was number 74th in the nation, yards per play, number 95th in offensive success rate last year. And Virginia, that schedule was pretty comfy. And turnover luck was also on their side. 7 turnover differential, +7 mark for them. And Andy, in those 11 wins, 3 of them came in overtime. One of them was a 2-point home win over Washington State. This is just not a team that screams lay over field goals, lay over touchdowns with on a regular basis. NC State's finishing strong. We think they start strong. Let's take the points with NC State this Saturday at 3:30. That is, Andy, your gold sheet play of the day.
All right, I'm watching the Tour Championship. It rained the first part of the round. It has stopped. The course is very receptive. So if you're looking at individual round scores, I think these afternoon guys are going to go pretty low. I might be looking at Tommy Fleetwood under 67.5, Xander Schauffele under 67.5. I might lean Cameron Young over 67.5. So Tour Championship, $10 million goes to the winner. That's off and running right now. All right, let's bring in Ralph. We got to talk a little college football. Ralph is back. He's got his pen back with him. Again, there's just so many signs that football is here. Ralph, happy Thursday to you in the pen.
Welcome back, guys. I've missed you. Dan, I threw something in Slack if you're able to take a look at that. Andy, you guys were talking about betting survivors. Mm-hmm. So in my preseason guide or the schedule guide, which are both free on my homepage, I break down every line week by week, sorted by the home team line. Just to add, so right there, you could see a lot of guys like only looking at home teams. So you can look when you can save teams, when you have to delete teams, when you're really going to be in trouble searching. I didn't send this over, guys, but Thanksgiving week, there's only 2 weeks this season where there's no NFL team as a home favorite of 7 or more. Thanksgiving week is one of them. The biggest home favorite, the Colts -6.5 against Miami. The next biggest favorite's only 4.5-point favorites. So Thanksgiving week will be a bear this week, but make sure when you're playing Survivor, make sure you do schedule out at least those important weeks of the season, and this guide will help you free on my homepage.
Wow.
I'll tell you right now, I ain't laying -6.5 on the Colts versus the Dolphins. Ain't no way. God knows who's going to be quarterback at that point with my team. So, all right, Ralph, we're going to talk a couple games. We've got UNC and TCU, and we got San Jose State and USC. Let's start with UNC and TCU. This is kind of a rematch from last season. TCU won by 34, and one of the more funny like debuts. It's like, oh, Belichick, making his college debut. This will be awesome, and then they get boat raced off the field. So, what do we make of this game that's overseas?
Well, let's look at last year's game. TCU was a 3.5-point favorite. They played opening game of the college football season. TCU ends up finishing plus 5.4 points per game, plus 40 yards per game. North Carolina ends up finishing minus 5.2 points per game and minus 50 yards per game. Then we look. North Carolina, 5 returning offense on defense, 5 on defense. They're number 111 in experience. TCU comes in top 30 as far as experience goes. I think this line should be higher. The problem is this. I can't lay over the touchdown with them in Dublin. Dublin has tall grass, guys. These are soccer pitches. So this is not the fast track that these players are accustomed to, especially TCU. We have the new quarterbacks for North Carolina. They're going with a Virginia transfer. But again, North Carolina, you got to remember this. Yes, I'm excited that Bobby Petrino is there as the OC. He will help the OC. But you have a GM that is on leave. You have his son, who's the DC, who is on medical leave. You have his wife helping coach these players. I see this as a complete shit show for North Carolina. But as I said, I don't want to get to the TCU side, so I'm going to break down a couple trends. First of all, defenses are ahead of offenses, game number 1 in college football. Over the last 4 years, if you blindly bet every under, you have won 55% of the time. But when we have a game like this with 2 FBS teams, a line under 14 and a total under 58, those teams are 26 and 61, 29.9% to the over or 70% to the under. North Carolina is going to run the ball. TCU does want to establish the run and not get this young quarterback in trouble. North Carolina and TCU both have byes next week, so they have nothing they have to hide. But I think in this case, we're going to get off to a slow start. I lean both TCU and North Carolina under first half and under full game in the Aer Lingus Classic.
Well, Ralph, hopefully with that play, we can say afterwards that we've been doubling our money.
Oh, God.
Thank you. All right. Sorry.
All right. Wait, hold on. I thought Brian Leonard was here last week. That's a Brian joke. Oh.
Yes, I wrote that out. No, I didn't write that out. All right. We got a game where the point spread is not exactly within a touchdown here. This is just a monster spread here on San Jose versus USC. I was kind of looking this game up, and USC hammers bad teams the last few years. Like I was reading against certain teams, their average win total is like 45 points. So we got USC as minus 39. I don't know if that's a key number or not. Over under is 60.5. What do you make of this game?
Well, let's look at what Mr. Lincoln Riley has done. 73-13 against Missouri State, 59-20 Georgia Southern. 2 years ago, after beating LSU, he beats Utah State 48-0. Against San Jose 3 years ago, 56-28, and then 66-14 versus Nevada, and then Rice 66-14. He is not afraid to get his quarterback hot. He is not afraid to get the most experienced quarterback in college football this season out to an early Heisman lead. It helps his team, it helps his offense, and it helps the entire continuity get them to where they're going to be. So, can I get to San Jose? Is there any reason I could bet San Jose? Well, remember, they're in the third year of Niumatalolo's schedule. And if you think, Navy and Niumatalolo, you're going to think the option game. 2 years ago, San Jose State, even with him being the coach, switched to the passing game. They were a top 10 pass offense each of the last 2 years. So while some coaches are accustomed to doing the service academies and the options, it doesn't mean he can't change his offense, and that's exactly what he's done. So is it crazy laying over 5 touchdowns in game number 1 of a college football season? I think you might be surprised at these numbers, guys. First off, if a team is a massive favorite against an FCS foe, they are not as impressive. They've gone 69-54, still 56.1%. Why? You're playing an FCS team. You don't want to put anything on paper. FCS teams have 25 or 26 less scholarships. They're limited to 63. And those players just don't have the excitement level. But you're playing a San Jose State team with a very well-known coach since 2013. Teams that are a favorite of 37 or higher in an opening game against an FCS opponent, How about 19-4, 83% against the spread, and 17-5, 70% to the over? That applies to USC this week. And oh yeah, next week, Andy, I know you're going to be talking about a couple of these teams. Next week, over 37-point favorites, Indiana, Ohio State, Oklahoma, and Texas A&M. I'm not going to get to the window at USC. I'm not going to get to the over with USC, but the only ways I would play this game is with the Trojans and the over. And with a total of 38, that's a very fair total of 60 for a San Jose State team that will be passing the ball often and may be able to break it out for a touchdown or two. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, Ralph, the USC is there's several teams, particularly in the Big Ten, that had this. I mean, look at their schedule. So San Jose State, Fresno State, Louisiana. Those are your 3 games to get ready, because after that, it's at Rutgers, number 2 Oregon, number 17 Washington, at 18 Penn State, at Wisconsin, number 1 Ohio State, at number 6 Indiana. Like, you got a few weeks to get your team on track, and then it's just a complete gauntlet. So that'll be interesting to see what they do here.
And you know what, Andy? People often look and say, oh, USC has someone on deck. They may not be completely focused. Well, they don't have someone on deck. I think they have Fresno State on deck. But people never look at the underdog and say, do they have someone on deck? I will 100% guarantee you that in the San Jose State Spartan locker room, they don't care if they lose USC by 50 points. They have Eastern Michigan on the road next Friday on a short week, travel across country on a short week, and then they host Cal Poly. They could lose by 100, and if they come off with 2 wins those next 2 games, which are much more important, they'll be 2-1 and set a whole different standard for this level. So just because you have a dog that's massive doesn't mean you don't have to look at their look ahead. Many times early in the season, it's more important to look at it who a dog has versus who a favorite has, because they have a winnable game their next 2 weeks in the offing.
If you take nothing away from the show today besides that point, I do that all the time. Make sure you look at the big underdog and see if they're motivated next week. Yeah, good stuff. Ralph, that's great stuff. What do you have up for everyone? I know we got some specials. We got college football. What do you have up for everybody?
One small nerfy play, and again, I'm not really a baseball fan, but I found this great niche in no run first inning. I do a first inning report every day. It's free on my homepage. I have a small 2% nerfy for today, but I'm number 2 in MLB action the entire season, just using nerfy plays. So don't be afraid to step on a limb and say, hey, I don't need to bet sides. I don't need to bet totals. If you find someone that works, stick with it no matter what it is. The markets nowadays open up so many opportunities for all of us. Take advantage.
Ralph Michaels, awesome to have you back for football season. Thanks for joining us, Ralph. We'll have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week, brother. Appreciate you.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and Andy, people can see Ralph on the weekend as the Blitz returns this Saturday morning. So, a lot of folks have reached out to us over the years and said, hey, we want more content on the weekends. We want more content on the weekends. Andy and I aren't doing 7 days a week. I'm sorry. I mean, as much as we love you guys, Andy does all his live streams, all that good stuff. But starting this Saturday, 9 a.m. total bases, 10 a.m. The Blitz with Ralph Michaels alongside Brian Power and Ross Benjamin, and then 11 a.m. Last Call. 3 great shows, 3 live chances for you guys to get in the comments, ask your questions about whatever games you want to hear, and that's how to start your Saturday mornings, Andy. So the Blitz is back this week, baby.
I love it. Yeah, I mean, I do 6 days a week because Saturdays
I know.
is 3 a.m. start for us for UFC Shanghai. So it's going to be wild times. So, okay, we're going to break down the Jacksonville Jaguars on their win total, and then we'll talk the Odyssey. So let's do Jacksonville Jaguars over under 8.5 wins. On the surface, I thought, wow, that's pretty low. But man, look at this schedule here, Dan. So I'll give you my thoughts here. They had 13 wins last year, and I really liked how they looked at the end of the year. Liam Cohen, I thought, did fantastic work. I thought he and Trevor Lawrence looked great. They unleashed this Trevor Lawrence rushing that really they hadn't really tapped into in the first part of his career, and I thought he was fantastic. 9 rushing touchdowns. Their offense, 6th most points per game, 11th most yards per game. But man, they're scheduled to start the season. They get Browns, and then it's at Broncos, Patriots, at Bengals, Eagles, Texans, bye. Yikes. There are so many different outcomes that could be coming out of those games. After the bye, it does get easier. The Colts and the Titans twice. Knock on this team is your offensive line. PFF has them ranked 30th.
Yep.
PFF does not like what they have for there. Their wide receiving core looks to be incredible. Running backs a little bit shaky. You got Bashal Tutin and Chris Rodriguez. It's not the most confident backfield. Their defense played incredible last year. Huge improvement from 2024. They were 11th in yards allowed per game, 8th in points per game allowed, 5th best QBR allowed. PFF has their defensive line ranked 9th. I also have to bring up these teams with elite kickers that can hit 70-yard field goals. Jags have one in Cam Little. This guy's hit 67 and 68-yard field goals. That's just a big deal in close games. Like when you have a guy that can do that at the end of the half to, maybe put, 13 points on the board instead of 10. I think that really works in this schedule. They're going to be in a lot of close games. I like the coach quarterback combo. The defense should be legit. It's a really, really tough schedule. I'm a believer in them. It's a very slight lean to the over. I think they can get to 9, possibly 10 wins if the schedule breaks right for them.
Yeah, and Andy, I'm seeing it the same exact way. I mean, we talked about teams that had such that big, like all those wins that they stacked up. Like when we talked about the Broncos, they had a great season last year, and then the season win total comes out and it has you scratching your head. And it just shows you what odds makers and what the market expects these teams to do. So they said Broncos regress. They say the Jags regress. But even if they do regress, Andy, 8.5. I mean, even when Doug Peterson was on his way out, they won back-to-back years where they had 9 wins or more, and they had 13 last year. Also, you point out the tough spots on the schedule. Also, they had those back-to-back games where they're going to stay out in London. So they host the Eagles in London. That's October 11th. And then the second game, they stay out there and the Texans come out. And then the Texans will be there to face off against them in London as well. So it's back-to-back weeks, and then they get some rest, and then they get the Colts. So I think on the surface, the schedule maybe looks a little bit tougher than it actually is. And towards the back half of the year, who knows what the Commanders are playing for? Who knows what the Colts are playing for? 8.5. If this was 9.5, Andy, you're making it a tough pick on me. At 8.5, I can only look towards the over for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Year 2 of Leonard Cohen, Liam Cohen, Leonard Cohen, who could sing you some good songs. Liam Cohen, we're going over and under on the amount of Leonard Cohen songs I could name you off the top of my head, Andy.
I like this team. I do. I think they got a lot of potential here. If that offensive line can gel and just be mediocre. Yeah. All right. We're liking the over. So, okay. Yep. Dan and I are getting ready to talk the Odyssey. So if you don't want any spoilers, now's the time to leave. Before you leave, 5%. Best bet is up in NFL preseason tonight. It is in the late game. Absolutely love the play. Go grab that. It's our first NFL 5% play of the preseason. 4-2-2 is our record. We feel great about that one. We've also got a cricket play that goes off tonight, I believe about 7:00 Eastern. So really, really good day to use a flex pass on us to get ready for the weekend. Okay, time to talk the Odyssey. So it was incredible. It was just like you said, it's 3 hours. It does not feel like it's 3 hours. Incredible pacing. I will start with this. Is Odysseus the bad guy? This guy sucks.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, dude, why do you're trying to make something happen that clearly isn't going to happen? You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't give a shit about what anybody says or anybody does.
Well, so let me go down the checklist of Odysseus. He leaves his home and his family for 20 years. He sits on a beach waiting for war for 10 years. Yeah. He starts a violent war he later regrets. Instead of sailing home, he just takes his men off course to the.
He's like, it'll be faster this way.
Yeah, he's taking the scenic route. He gets lost. He gets trapped in a cave with a cyclops. He loses half his crew in multiple boats to giant metal guys. He sends his crew to get turned into pigs. He literally gets
But that
told what's
saves
going to
him.
happen.
He
Does save him. Okay, that's one redeeming quality. He gets told what's going to happen in the future, can't stop any of it. His entire crew dies. He shacks up with Calypso for 7 years while his wife is fighting off 50 horny dudes trying to marry her. He returns home only to get himself and his wife exiled. What's the upside to Odysseus?
It's tough. It's tough. I mean, if I was to make any counterpoints, Calypso was feeding him the lotus flowers, so he didn't really remember everything that happened going on. And I will say, I think the whole exile thing at the end, that was clearly, by design. Like, I think they wanted to be exiled. You know what I mean? So I think his wife wouldn't have bitched about that too bad. But yeah, as you look back, you are kind of like, this guy pretty much makes every wrong decision at every single turn, but he just comes home and beats the shit out of everyone. That final scene where he has like the arrows coming out of his back, like that was pretty badass though. That redeemed everything when he takes on a room of 50 dudes and beats the shit out of all of them.
I've never seen a main character make the wrong decision at every turn. Every chance he had to make a decision.
Even the god is literally, it was an open book test. They tell him the future, and he's literally just like, nah, screw that. I defy what you guys tell me.
All right. Okay. How old was this dog? You do the math. This dog was 30 years old.
The oldest dog to ever live, and he was pretty old, when he left them.
And I'm just saying, I don't think they had the best medical veterinarian care around there. So
it was just the love of Odysseus that kept him alive. It was the love, Andy.
Okay. I got to be honest. I really liked the bad guy. I agreed with all of his points. What was he being so wrong about? He's there like, hey, we don't have a king.
Kind of need a king.
We need a king. And they're like, oh, this guy, what a bad guy. It's like, I don't know, man.
Just because it was Robert Pattinson. He can't win.
I thought he had some pretty good points. I actually agreed with the bad guy more than I agreed with Odysseus. Like when the bad guy is like, hey, we haven't had a king for like 10 years. We need a king. I'm sitting there being like, yes. When Odysseus is like, let's go in this cave. I'm like, no, don't go in the cave.
No, don't do that, you idiot. What are you
going in the cave? And by the way, the poor Cyclops is there minding his own business with his sheep and his cheese, and Odysseus has to come in and ruin it for everybody.
Yeah.
I felt bad for the Cyclops.
Dude, I'll tell you what, that scream that the Cyclops lets out was one of the most horrific noises I've ever heard, and it goes on for so long. It like scrambles your brain, dude. I don't know how they did that, but they're going to win awards for like sound mixing, set design. I mean, it's just award gold.
I have a lot of questions about sailing in those wooden boats with oars across the ocean. This is in every movie. Like, you're like, hold on. I've been in Rocky season a gigantic cruise ship. Now you're telling me you guys with ours are going to make you guys wouldn't make it half a no way, not one day. My wife and I were laughing when the metal guys destroy the boats.
Yeah.
And then just later on in the movie, they had a couple more boats. It was like, where's those boats
they just found them. They found them and built them somewhere.
Yeah. We did see it in the 70 millimeter theater. It was,
you did?
Yeah. We have one here in Indianapolis.
Epic.
Yeah. Wow. Unfortunately, our seats we were just a little too close to the screen. I was kind of looking up. So, but yeah, I don't know. What were your thoughts on it?
I completely agree. I mean, I wish that I saw it in IMAX just because, the epicness of it, but even just seeing it in the theaters, I thought it was terrific. Like I said, Andy, I think there's going to be all kinds of awards. I think even though he makes every wrong decision, Damon's probably going to be up for, actor of the year or best actor. So it was just the thing that struck me was it's a 3-hour long movie. And yet in 3 hours, Andy, there is not a line of wasted dialogue. You know what I mean? Like downtime. It is an absolute masterclass by Christopher Nolan. And I know, he gets, knocked for this, knocked for that, whatever you want to say. I mean, that movie showed you why movies should still be made, why everything shouldn't go straight to DVD. Like the case in point is a movie like that should be appreciated in a theater and gives you an experience that only going to a movie theater could give you. And outside of going to like Marvel movies, things like that, nothing drags me out to the theater. And that was must see. And the fact that, Andy, it came out over a month ago, well over a month ago, and we're talking about it still, and it's still in theaters. And I don't know about you. I saw it on a Tuesday night. My theater was packed. I don't know how
it was
full
sold
yours
out.
was. Yeah.
3:45 in the afternoon. It was sold out. You couldn't get a seat.
Yeah.
One other question I have about Odysseus's lack of planning. So he was on the beach of Troy for 10 years, right? So you would know that beach inside and out. You would know every morsel of sand on that beach. And then they build the horse to where the tide comes into it and people drown. You couldn't build it a little bit more up on the shore. Like Odysseus, again, every step of the way, just the complete wrong thing to do. So, but that was a masterclass. And yes, that is, make a point to go see it in the theater. Just go. That I don't
agree.
I thought Obsession was incredible, but I watched it at home. I didn't need to see that in the theater, but this one,
agreed. It's too epic.
Need to go see it. It was, like you said, 3 hours of no downtime was stunning.
And like that, when I told you that beforehand, you were probably like, "Oh yeah, right." But legit. I mean, the way that they tell the story, it's like a different person recounting it. It's perfectly done, dude. It's a terrific film that I would watch over again for sure.
Yeah. The other fun fact that my wife was telling me was Matt Damon's stunt double is a woman. And he did an interview and he said a lot of the close-ups on my arms, those are not my arms.
No shit.
Yeah,
it's just a jacked woman.
He's like, I'm not doing my own stunts. Are you kidding me? I'm 50. That's
amazing.
Yeah, the one that arms they thought looked most like him is this really jacked woman that did the stunts.
That's epic. That's a good tidbit.
I've heard this starting. Well, we'll end the show with this. I've heard little rumblings about this. Is Matt Damon catching DiCaprio in terms of the rankings? It's a lot close. When you go down the list of movies, it's a lot closer than you would think. DiCaprio, GOAT, but Damon's making a run for it.
I mean, he has a shot to at least tie him in awards if that's what your metric is, because this year he's certainly at least going to be up for Best Actor. So, but it is funny because Damon was a guy who used to just be like an ensemble guy. You know what I mean? Who like fit in really well with a big cast. And, I think you got something on you that there's a lot of times when, even when he was an ensemble, you go back, you rewatch a film, he's the one who's standing out. So I don't hate a little Damon love. I mean, we got Titan CT. He loves himself a little Boston boy, a little Departed action.
His portfolio is getting really, really incredible to go through some of the different movies that he was in. So it was a really, really fun time. Glad I went and saw it there. So if you guys haven't seen it, absolutely do it. We're doing the Steelers tomorrow. And Dan, I sent a message to Marco. Marco is going to join us for that segment. So we'll do the Steelers with Marco, his hometown team. So
and we got some questions, Danny, that maybe we'll talk about NFL futures. We also had Ed Olson saying Laporta TD total. We won't do that tomorrow, but
I'll do it next Friday. I'll already put it in for next Friday.
Good to go, Ed.
My favorite future, I think I'm still on the Chargers, 9.5 wins over. That's been the one
You've been loud and proud about that one.
I've been very consistent about that. I know the offensive line questions, but so far I think that's my favorite. Strong nominees. We talked about Chase Brown over 5.5 rushing touchdowns, but I still think I just love the Chargers. I love the coaching. I love the new offensive coordinator. So good stuff. All right, great show. Great show. Thank you to Gianni. Thank you to Joe. Thank you to Ralph. Thank you, Dan. And thank you guys in the chat. You guys crush it. Like always, tomorrow, get ready. Big show tomorrow. We got college football. We got NFL. We will be football heavy tomorrow. Teddy covers and Marco. So we're rocking and rolling, getting ready for the weekend. Let's cash this 5% play tonight. Good luck on all your bets. We'll see everyone tomorrow. Take care.